What is going on, everybody? It is E-Rock here, bringing you guys an incredible H1Z1 video tonight / today / this morning. Hope you guys are having a great time playing the test server. Today's video is going to be just exactly about that. I'm going to go pretty in-depth with everything that they've released to the test server regarding this combat update. Now, if you guys want to follow along with exactly what I'm going over, just head on over to H1Z1.com and look at the producer's letter. I'm going to be going over that, reading off that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you leave a like on it and please subscribe for more videos and whatnot. And so let's get started because we have a lot to go over. Today's update to the test server is a major step forward for coming out of early access and realizing H1Z1's true potential. The combat update improves many facets of the game to provide the best combat experience yet, spanning from how your character responds to your inputs to shooting mechanics, all the way down to specifics of where each weapon excels in a gunfight. Now, I'm not going to read exactly everything that they just said going further, but let's move into the first thing we're going to talk about is shooting and gunplay. We know that proficiency with your weapons is key, being the last player standing, so we've made improvements on weapon ballistics, hit markers, recoil, animation, and more to improve H1Z1's shooting mechanics. Now, as you guys can see in the background, this is the first and only game I've played on the H1Z1 test server for the combat update. So I'm kind of just going to be basically going through everything I went through in my personal experiences. As far as the new reticle, a classic reticle option has been added to the setting menu to allow you to use any of the custom reticles already available, but note these will not show your weapon's accuracy. So with this new weapon reticle and shooting, I actually kind of found it a little annoying and harder to use at first. I might have to give it some more time to use, but you can see that there's bullet trails. The camera angle that's behind you as you aim in is a lot different. It's going to take a lot to get used to, but I actually really like the direction and the way that this game is evolving into. They've created new hit markers for the shotgun that indicates when your shots strike. So as you can see on the screen, when you hit, it's gonna show how many pellets are hitting and exactly where. So for you guys that say your shotgun shots aren't hitting, well, this should hopefully help you guys out a lot more. Bullets now move at a more believable speed, and each weapon's ballistics profile has been improved to better match its real-world counterpart. Rifle rounds fly fast and flat. Pistol rounds hit hard up close but lose power over distance. Now, making the most out of each gun to add a more variety of gameplay, each gun has been highly tuned to excel in a specific role. So as you can see on screen here, the weapon's dominant ranges are displayed here, where the SMG and the shotgun are obviously up close, and where the hunting rifle and the AR obviously is going to excel at further distances, leaving the AK just to be right smack dab in the middle. Player distances, it gives us, they give you like a little bit of a brief breakdown of how far away each person is by the way they're standing. But going a little bit further into the main weapons, I'm not going to go over each weapon because honestly, not all of us really care about the pistols. The AK-47, the AK reigns supreme in mid-range gunfights, hitting harder and firing faster than the AR-15. The AK is lethal in the hands of a player who can learn to control its punchy, recoil. Now, I actually think died to an AK at the end of this gameplay, or something sort of like that. I think the AK is incredibly overpowered at this point. I know people didn't, like myself, wanted the recoil to go down a little bit. It's not that the recoil went down, it just became a lot easier to control. So the AK-47, if you can control it, you don't have to you can just spam the button or just hold it down, and if you can control that, that thing tears people apart. Now going into the hunting rifle, The high-powered rifle is just as effective at dropping players at long range in 1 or 2 hits, provided you can get your hands on one. The scope sway mechanic has been removed, so that's one thing to pay attention to. And then the shotgun, while capable of dropping a target with 1 or 2 good hits up close, the shotgun requires a good sense of timing since it cycles slowly. The weapon's spread has been opened up a little bit wider, making it more effective firing on the run at close range targets, but significantly less effective at medium range shots. So hopefully we'll stop seeing those people sniping you with shotguns. The Hellfire 4.6 we went over in a previous video a little bit, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. All we have to really say is it's been implemented into the game, and up close it does pretty well against people without any armor on. With armor, it's not as good as you guys really think unless they go for the head. Now the rifles themselves have visually been rebuilt. They look a little bit better in my opinion. There's nothing too much to go over with those, but yeah, we'll just move on to the dynamic cameras portion. A lot of work has gone into the camera system to better show off your character and make it easier to shoot and move around the world. We've shifted the camera over slightly so you can better see what you're shooting at as well as where you're landing your shots. Like I said before, I personally think the camera system and everything looks a lot better, feels a lot better when I'm shooting. The only thing I have said is the little bullet trails or whatever. They kind of throw me off, so I don't really like those, but I am very glad that they have the option to be able to turn that off. And if you are peeking over with your right shoulder, they do have the option where you can peek over your left shoulder as well. The designated key for that, I believe they said, was left control. So if that's something that interests you guys as well, there you go. Player movement. Our animation department has been hard at work overhauling the look and feel of your character. Your character is now not only more responsive to your controls, but also runs, leans, and turns more like a real person. We've heard a lot of feedback on moving while looting, so they've also added that. So while you're looting a bag, yeah, you just have to use your whatever buttons you move, and you don't have to click anything special, and you can start moving as well. Definitely the player movement to me, I played, it's definitely a lot slower. There's no more real crouch spam going on, which is fantastic. So I'm glad to see that's been implemented, and it seems like it's a lot easier to move with this new player movement system. Throwables have been upgraded to be quicker to equip, easier to aim, and faster to throw on the move. You can now aim, throw the weapons with the aim arc by holding the aim button. To cancel a throw, simply release the aim button. So we've seen this in PlayerUnknown's, if you guys have played that game before. Very popular and easier to use in that game. So now people that spam grenades, your life just got a heck of a lot easier, I guess. They have introduced a couple new POIs. One is called Harris Country Fairgrounds. Another one is CWP Water Treatment Authority. Next we have East Valley Shopping Center. The CWP Utilities Compound 6-2. Sunny Pines is the last one. I think Sunny Pines has just basically gotten rid of, I called it Thermometer. That was outside of Ranchito, but it definitely looks like that's what they've done with this. The bleeding mechanic, we've revised the bleed mechanic to make it more understandable, simplifying what you need to do to respond to bleeding and how damage is calculated. Where the bleed mechanic used to have 6 different states for bleeding, we've reduced it to 4. There's not bleeding, minor bleeding, moderate bleeding, and major bleeding. I don't really think I have to go really too in detail on that, but hope you guys are staying with me. We are just about done. We're getting to the last few sections here. Vehicle fixes. A few vehicle improvements have made in this update. All vehicle passengers can now use the inventory of a vehicle even while it's in motion, so that's key. You got the driver putting something in your vehicle, you say, oh, I need that helmet, oh, I need that med kit, oh, I need that Lammy, can you stop the car? You don't have to stop the car anymore. The passengers can just get on in there while you're moving And it's the same thing with looting bodies now. You can now loot the same body bag at the same time as your teammates, so that's another great thing. Vehicles no longer flip over, they will instead land on their wheels more consistently. Vehicles will no longer give the cannot exit message, and we've adjusted the pickup truck to be a bit less bouncy. So that's good news for me, because I'm probably one of the worst drivers in this game. Navigating the world, you'll see, to me, I'm not going to exactly read this. It just looks a lot like Z1. I never played Z1, but this game, this map looks and feels so much different. I'm so excited to be able to play this now. I know Z1 was such a popular map, and the fact that this looks like Z1 a little bit makes me more excited to play it. The world system improvements. Explosive barrels no longer spawn near each other, which is great. And explosive barrels have had their point-blank damage decreased, so they no longer kill a player at full health. Tents now flatten when shot, and blue mailboxes, newspaper boxes, and cement ashtrays can now be destroyed. That's freaking fantastic, right? Okay, whatever. Functional footwear, basically they're just saying that your shoes can now be shredded at the beginning of the match, which is great. Combat practice, there's been some chatter about combat training or deathmatch, as we've seen many of you call it. This was initially designed as an internal tool to help you test the combat update. We found that it was actually a ton of fun and allows players to practice before getting into standard match. We have more to work to do on it, but it's definitely coming very soon. And next we have the new skirmish that is coming out. It's called Weapon Roulette. This is a standard BR mode, except that all players in the match have to start with the same random gun in hand and infinite ammo for that weapon. No other gun or ammo is spawned in the map to loot, but you need to scavenge to find other supplies. At certain population thresholds, as match advances, all players will have their current weapon removed and will be randomly selected a new weapon. So that's pretty freaking cool. I can't wait for this to come out, you guys. Basically, what's that gun? Is it like gun? It's not gun game. It's something else in Call of Duty. I played it a lot. Let me know in the comment section down below what that is, because I'm drawing a blank right now. And then the last thing, finally at the end of this letter, they have more in the works. Keep an eye out for some additional changes beyond what's mentioned above. Please, with all these changes to the core combat system, expect pre-season 6 to start when this update hits live. More details to come. This update is massive, and we cannot wait to play with you on a test server and get your guys' feedback. We can't thank you guys enough for the support. So that is everything. I tried to go into as much detail as I can possible. If you guys have questions on anything, make sure you leave it in the comments section down below. I would love to do my best to try and answer any questions you guys do have. If you thought this video was a little bit helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like rating on it. It always helps me out and helps the channel grow. And as always, you guys, I'll see you in the next one.